3 different girls in various locations across Ogun State. Some of his victims were people he personally knew. One of them lived in the same compound as him, while another was the daughter of his employer. This betrayal of trust is what makes the case even more heartbreaking. 29-year-old Philip Ogunaike was born and raised in Ogun State, Nigeria. His late father was a cleric in a popular Nigerian church. After completing his primary education, Philip opted to learn a trade. He learned how to repair motorcycles, and he also seemed to have been doing very well in his chosen trade until he met a friend who changed his life in the worst possible way. Philip met a man named Danjuma in 2020, who then initiated him into the Eye Confraternity, a popular cult group in Nigeria. This marked the beginning of his troubles as he abandoned his mechanic business and then ventured fully into the life of Philip began taking part in armed robbery, extortion, and other petty thefts. He also confessed that he was lured in by Danjuma and other members of his cult group. In that same 2020, Philip was arrested during one of his robbery operations and was arraigned in court. However, during his trial in Abeokuta, the capital city of Ogun State, he managed to escape from the courthouse and was subsequently placed on the court's wanted list. It wasn't until 4 years later that he was apprehended again, this time around for a far more serious crime. On May 6, 2024, Philip abducted the 22-year-old nurse Abigail Dana, who left home around 8 a.m. in the morning to resume duty at her workplace. He took her to an unknown forest. Philip proceeded to steal her iPhone XR, which he then used to contact Abigail's family to demand for a ransom amount of 50,000 naira. After receiving the ransom, he fled to a town in the neighboring Oyo State, where he exchanged the stolen iPhone XR for an Infinix Hot 10 and a cash sum of 65,000 naira. On July 3, 2024, barely 2 months after claiming his first victim, Philip struck again. This time around, it was his neighbor's daughter who lost his dad not too long before she suffered the same fate in his hands. On that day, 23-year-old Mary Ogunyemi was sent by her mother around 10 a.m. in the morning to help her buy some fruits from a neighboring estate. Philip, who was staying in the same compound with Mary, decided to escort her to the shop. Along the way, he lured her to a nearby bush in the estate and then called his accomplice to come and assist him in the act. Together, after committing this heinous act, the two then contacted the mother of the victim and requested a ransom amount of 17,000 naira. On receiving the ransom, they fled to Badagry in the neighboring Lagos state, where they sold the stolen iPhone for a meager sum of 8,000 naira. Philip met his Waterloo on the 4th of October 2024, after he replicated the same evil act on the 18-year-old daughter of his employer, Abibat Akinsoya. Abibat, who was a secondary school student, had gone to cover for her sister, who was running a POS business. While she was there, someone invited her to come over for a transaction. On her way to meet the person, she was seen by Philip, who then lured her to her father's farmland. When Abibat then returned home that day, her father went to the police station to report her missing. Philip was a laborer in the same farm he lured Abibat to. When they got to the farm that day, he tied her up, forced himself on her, and after committing the evil act, he used her mobile phone to call the father, requesting for a ransom amount of 1 million naira. After receiving the call, Abibat's father went back to the police station to inform them of the ransom situation. He didn't have such a huge amount, so he eventually sent 80,000 naira into the money point account provided by Philip. This was done to enable them trace the location of the kidnapper. After the ransom was paid, the kidnapper's location was traced to a community in Abeokuta, the capital city of Ogun State. However, when the police arrived there, the kidnappers were nowhere to be found. The next day, Abibat's body was discovered in her father's farmland with her POS machine lying beside her. Unfortunately for Philip, he was seen by 2 different people at the crime scene. The first eyewitness had seen Philip heading into the farm with Abibat. However, after some minutes, he came out of the farm alone, which made the eyewitness ask him about the girl he went into the farmland with. Philip lied that Abibat was not done with what she was doing in the farm, and that she would join him as soon as she was done. The second eyewitness, a 15-year-old boy, claimed to have seen Philip running out of the farm in a very suspicious manner. Armed with this information, the police tracked and arrested Philip for questioning. Upon interrogation, he confessed to also led the police to the 3 different locations where he had buried the deceased females. Philip claimed he only committed 2 of the acts alone, and that he teamed up with Danjuma and other accomplices to carry out the other ones. Amidst the confusion and cries of the family of victims and community members, Philip made a shocking statement to the police. He told them that the only thing he wants is for them to arrest Danjuma and others who initiated him into the Eye confraternity. He went on to state that once he had been taken to court, the judge should not waste his time in hearing their case. That
what do you think? What are you now thinking government will do for you now?
They should not do anything for me. Me and Danjuma and those courtesan members. Once they catch us, like if they want to give us judgment, they should just give us because they are the one that lead me to that stupid things.
Philip made an additional strange request to be implemented before his execution. He pleaded that he should be given food to eat before he is executed. Now, all we can do is hope that the punishment he requested gets granted by the judge. I must say that at the time this video was made, this case was still under active investigation. Danjuma and his accomplices were yet to be arrested.
Where is that your friend, Danjuma? Where is he?
They have not catch him yet.
Where he go? Do you know where he is?
I don't eventually know where he is now, but I know that he'll be around that. But not used to stay in one place.
And Philip was yet to appear in court.
Why are you people? Is for money or for what?
It's because of the phone that we used to see from them that we wanted to collect it from them. And it's because of the bad gang that we used to join. That is what used to lead us to. That's what lead us to those things. Because I know if I had not joined by gang and I had not used to follow those people that used to do bad things, I know that I may not be able to do all these things.